Hello guys, and welcome to the second episode of The Lonely Conversation. Now, in today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about the title of this video, Do Things You Don't Want to Do. Now, that might sound really contradictory to start with, but we're going to go into some various things that I want to talk about with regards to this throughout the video. Now, like I said, it sounds a bit contradictory. We all want to live a happy, kind of easygoing, fun-loving kind of lifestyle where we do all the things we like to do. We like to go out with friends. We like to go and play our sports. We like to do our hobbies. You know, we don't want to do the other stuff. We want to do all the things we find fun, enjoyable, that give us kind of enjoyment in the short term and in the long term. So we want to do all of that. And that's really important. Of course it is. But you've got to do the things you don't want to do if you want to have a meaningful life. If you want to have a meaningful life, if you want your life to get better than it currently is, you've got to do the things you don't want to do. The reason for this is when we do things we don't want to do, they're usually the things that are going to push us forward, that are going to improve our life, but we don't want to do them because they're hard. They require effort. They require some level of effort, some more effort on our part that we haven't put into our life before. Hence, we haven't had the life that we could potentially have in the future. Now, obviously, when I talk about this, there are certain things that you don't want to do that you shouldn't do. You know, most people don't want to go out and kill 100 people with an automatic rifle. Yeah, there's no point doing that. Most people don't want to cheat on their significant other. Yeah, don't do that. What I'm talking about is I'm talking about things that you sort of think you maybe should do, but you don't want to do. I should probably eat healthier, but I don't really want to. It's easier to get a takeaway. I should go to the gym, but I can't be bothered. I'd rather sit here and watch TV. These are the sort of things. Do things you don't want to do. Force yourself to do things you don't want to do. Because if you do those things, you're going to push your life forward. If you start eating healthier, not only are you probably going to live a longer life, you're going to live a better life. You're going to be less likely to get ill and have any diseases. Okay, if you go to the gym, not only are you going to get stronger, fitter, you're going to potentially look better. Everything you then do in your life is going to be easier. Okay. Now, most of you probably don't have too much of an issue, you know, picking up your shopping from the car and bringing it in. But let's say you're to move a piece of furniture. Some of you might think that's a pretty hard task, and you might think, I'd really like to rearrange my room, but I can't really be bothered. It takes too much effort. I've got to get people to help me. If you go to the gym and you're stronger, you might think, yeah, I can move that on my own. I'll just move it around, move what I want. It opens avenues that you don't even think it would open. People think, oh, why am I going to go to the gym? I want to get a six pack. I want to get big arms. I want to get a big chest. I want to look good for everyone. Why are you going to the gym if you want to look good for everyone else? Go to the gym because you want to improve your life. If you don't want to do the thing, at least make it improve your life and not somebody else's. Like, if you're doing something you don't want to do just to improve somebody else's life, you're doing it wrong. If you're doing things that you don't really want to do, you're forcing yourself to do those difficult things, make sure that you're improving your life. Because if you improve your life through doing it, not only do those things that you don't want to do actually becomes things you do want to do because you see the improvement, but they're also improving your life. And that's the big thing here. One of the other things that I really, really think is huge about just forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. How many times have, you know, people seen stuff about having cold showers? Apparently cold showers are great for your metabolism. They're great for prevention of diseases. They're great for all sorts of things, apparently, cold showers. How many people do them? Not many. Why? Because they're uncomfortable. Why? We don't want to have a cold shower when we can have a nice hot one. Okay? But if you just do that and force yourself to do it, it teaches you a level of resilience to actually just get in and do something. Because one of the big things with life in general is life is full of absolute shit. It's going to throw shit your way 24/7. Okay? You're going to have good times, but you're going to have bad times. You're going to have people that are great to you. You're going to have people that come into your life and just take you for a ride. Okay? Life is full of shit. Life is full of, you know, upset and disappointment, as well as all the good stuff, but it's so full of all of these negative emotions. Teach yourself some resilience so you can overcome that, because you're used to doing things you don't want to do. And so when something that you don't want to happen to you happens to you, you've already nailed it because you've been doing stuff you don't want to do for your whole life. So a huge thing, resilience, is a massive thing that you can teach yourself simply by just forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. And they don't have to be huge things. You know, I'm not talking about saying, right, okay, I don't want to go to the gym 7 times a week, but I'm going to force myself to go every single day. You don't have to do that. go once, but just force yourself to go. Anything that you don't want to do, if you just go into it hard and you just think, right, I'm going to go all out on this, say you don't really like saving money, you should save money. So do that. Don't go out for the, to the pub for pints with your mates on a Friday. Stay in, save 50 quid. Do it. Do something you don't want to do. Okay. But that doesn't mean never go to the pub with your friends. Because if you do that, you're going to sacrifice your friends and you're going to sacrifice that part of your life. It's a balance. But you've got to do these things that we don't want to do. Otherwise, you're just going to live a pretty kind of free and easy life, but it's going to be relatively poor quality. If you're eating takeaways every night, you ain't going to be healthy. You're probably going to get fat. You're probably going to get overweight. You're going to be more susceptible to diseases. Probably not going to live as long. You're definitely not going to be as happy. All of these kind of things just stem from taking the easy route all the time, doing things you want to do all the time. I want to have a takeaway every single night, but I don't, because one, it means I've got to spend more money than I would do if I don't. Two, it means that I'm going to be unhealthy and I'm going to put on weight and be overweight. Three, I don't even socialize with people because the takeaway comes to my door, I eat it in. I'm not even socializing with people. There's so many things that actually a takeaway is great every now and then, but use your common sense. Don't have one every night. Eat healthily. Put veg on your plate if you don't want to. Actually force yourself, and really force yourself. It's not a case of thinking, oh, I'm in the mood for it today. I'm feeling quite good. I'll do this. The important things with doing the things you don't want to do is you do them when you don't want to do them when you're having a really tough, bad day, where they're the last thing you can think of. That is where the resilience comes in. That's where you push the boundaries. That's where you improve your life and you push yourself forward. Is when you're having a shit day at work. You could have had a shit day at work. You could be potentially, your boss has come in and said you need to up your game, or you're potentially being fired. Your missus could be thinking that she wants to leave you. You could be having a shit day. And the last thing you want to do is come home, get ready and go to the gym. The last thing you want to do is come home, clean the house. The last thing you want to do is come home, sort all your filing out. The last thing you want to do is come home and cook a healthy meal. Do all of those things, because the minute you do all of those things, you're going to feel, one, you're going to feel better for it because you've accomplished something. Usually the things we don't want to do, they accomplish something. So you're going to accomplish something, you're going to be productive. Two, you've done something that's going to improve your life in a way. Okay? If you're eating healthy, you've improved the way that your body's feeling because it's got good nutrients in there. If you sort your filing out, it's probably going to mean your work's going to be easier to do, which means you are going to up your performance. You ain't going to get fired. If you've cleaned your room, probably means that, you've tidied your house, you've cleaned, your living space and everything like that. You've sorted that out first. Then you can think, right, my place is sorted. What I've got control over, I've sorted. Now I can start potentially trying to help other people sort their issues. Until you've got your own place sorted, you can't help anyone, because how can you help somebody when you don't even have yourself sorted? So that's a huge thing. Now, also one of the things that this really does teach us is it teaches us to appreciate the things that we do want to do. So if we're, usually doing the things we're not quite enjoying, they're not the love of our life, but we're doing them, like I said, we're forcing, we've got that resilience, we're doing them because we know that they're for a greater good, they're pushing us forward. When we then do go and do the things we want to do, we go to that football game, we go to the cinema, we go out with friends, we go and play that sport, we go and buy that car, we go and buy that TV, we watch that program. When we do any of that stuff, we appreciate it more because we've been deprived of it. We've been used to doing things that are more productive, more pushing us forward. And now we're actually kind of almost withdrawing from that. It's like a bank. Every time you do something you don't want to do, you're putting money into that bank. You're depositing into that bank. That bank of life, essentially, you're depositing into there, okay? Increasing your worth, if you like. And then every time you do something that's easy, that you want to do, but isn't really going to improve your life in any way, you're making a withdrawal. So you're taking money out of that and you're almost decreasing your worth. So people that typically just do the stuff they want to do, how many of them have a fantastic job? How many of them have a fantastic group of friends? How many of them are truly successful? Not many, because they're constantly withdrawing. And so they're essentially going into an overdraft. The bank says, right, we need, you're in this much debt, you need to pay us. They think, shit, I better go to work because I've got to do it now or I'm going to essentially die. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills, so I'm not going to be able to live in this house or flat. I'm not going to be able to pay for food. I'm essentially going to end up homeless and potentially, worst case scenario is you die, essentially, which is a mental way of thinking about things, that if you do all the things you want to do, that's all you do, you die. But reality is that the brutal truth is that can happen, and so they think, right, shit, I've got to get myself in order. And they do a few things that they don't really want to do. They go to work, they maybe say to their mates, look, I can't come out tonight, I'm really struggling with money, whatever. But it's not really from them, it's from an external. They haven't decided to do the things they don't want to do. It's been forced upon them, which doesn't really teach any form of resilience. It just teaches you to follow an order, which is, great for if you want to just live down here. But if you want to excel and live up here and be successful, you've got to be able to give yourself orders. You've got to be able to be resilient and do things yourself. And so it really does make us appreciate the things that we do want to do. Now, like anything, there's exceptions. There are certain things that some people really do enjoy doing that actually do have a positive impact on their life. Pretty much anyone that watches this video that plays some form of sport and you enjoy sport, fantastic. You're doing something that you enjoy doing that also improves your life because you're getting fitter, you're getting healthier. Okay, people that actually enjoy work and really love their work, and maybe they're a business owner and they love the challenge of their business. Maybe they're working in a high-end job and they really enjoy the kind of time pressures and the pressure of the job because it kind of, gives them that adrenaline buzz of there's a bit of pressure on here. Fantastic. Like they're lucky. They're the lucky few. They're the lucky exceptions. Most people that you speak on the street, if you said, do you enjoy your job? Would you rather do something, different? They'd probably say, yeah. I don't think a lot of people really, truly enjoy their job. They probably enjoy aspects of their job and enjoy parts of it. The colleagues probably enjoy the kind of, the Friday night trip to the pub with the colleagues sort of thing. Probably enjoy the social element of the job and obviously enjoy the fact that they get paid. But in terms of the actual work, I doubt many people really enjoy their work. If you go into somewhere like Tesco's and ask people that are stacking shelves, do you enjoy your job? They probably don't. But the people that really do enjoy their work are the people that have already spent all that time doing the things they don't want to do. If they have started a business, they've had to save and save and save. They've had to, cancel on friends. They've had to cancel plans so that they can stay in and work harder, work longer hours to save more, to then have a startup for their business. And they're used to doing those things they don't want to do, and it becomes a habit. And suddenly, it's not that you don't want to do them, it's just you do them. That's the thing. Anything that you start, especially if it's a change or if it's something that you're not too keen on, is difficult. It's difficult when you start. But once you push through that initial phase, it just becomes a habit, and it doesn't become a chore. It doesn't become oh, for fuck's sake, I've got to do this. It just becomes something that you do. It doesn't become a case of, oh man, I've really got to cook healthy tonight. You just cook. Oh, I've got to cancel on these people because I've got to work late. No, you just end up working late. It's something that you just do. And also, one of the big things that this teaches us is a level of responsibility. If you're swanning around, doing everything you enjoy doing, not really doing anything that is going to further yourself, not pushing yourself, you're just basically chilling out, but for life, you've got no responsibility. Usually these kind of people, if someone says to them, oh, so why has this happened? Oh, that's so-and-so's fault. Oh, he didn't do this. Oh, they didn't tell me that I had to do that. Oh, my boss didn't tell me this. They get fired. Oh, my boss didn't tell me that I wasn't performing very well. He just fired me. Oh, well, my colleague was doing this. He didn't let me have any work. It's all blame. Okay, everything is external because there's nothing going on inside them that thinks, hang on a minute, we've got to do something here about this. There's none of that grit and that determination. There's none of that resilience. And there's essentially none of that responsibility. And responsibility is key. If you want to have a good life, you've got to take responsibility, especially over the things that you can control that purely affect you. How do you expect to take responsibility of an entire business or, an entire family if you can't even be responsible for your own self? How can you expect to be able to provide for a family if you can't provide for yourself? How can you expect to run a wealthy and good business if you can't even like run your own home? You know what I mean? And so that level of responsibility, just deciding to take that responsibility and say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it because I know that it's going to be better for me. That is an empowering thing to do, is to be able to do that. Not just to sort of think about doing it and then not, but to be able to actually do that and say, you know what, I need to do this because it's going to put me where I want to be, and take that responsibility to do it. That's empowering because you've got full control over that. No one else has had a say in that. No one else has caused that to happen but you. So anything that comes from doing that is completely and utterly down to you. Now, in terms of how we can go about doing this, that's really the key. It's all very well saying, yeah, go out there and do the things you want to do. You watch a bit of a motivational video and you go out there and you do it for a week. It ain't gonna last. You know, it's unlikely to last anyway. You know, now everybody is different. Everybody has different ways of motivating themselves. Everybody has different ways of changing behaviors. Okay, so we'll see if we can conjure up a few different methods that potentially anyone watching can do. So one of the ways that has worked for me in the past in certain things is purely to just make a decision, say, fuck it, I'm doing it, and make a decision and just go, you know, it's the same thing as some people, they want to quit smoking, they just go, you know what, fuck it, never buying a cigarette again, they quit cold turkey, and it works. And they just do. They make that decision and it works. One of the reasons I think for this is as soon as you actually verbalize the fact that you're going to make a decision, as soon as you verbalize something and put it out into the open world, it's now not just stuck in your head, it's out there. And when it's out there, you're now thinking about it because it's moved away from you. It's now in everything around you that you do, almost in that ether. It's in the ether of everything that you do. And so now that you know that it's out there, you want to make that happen. You know, it's the same thing as if you go up to a mate and you say, right, I'm gonna start my own business. 3 months later, you haven't done anything towards it. And your mate goes, how's that business of yours coming along? You're going to be like, oh shit, I haven't actually done anything. If it was just in your head, it doesn't matter because it's just in your head and nobody else knows about it. No one can question you on it. No one can pick you up on it. But by putting it out there, not only can other people pick you up on it, life itself can pick you up on it. And life can throw shit your way almost as like a warning saying, you said you were going to do this and you ain't doing it. And so making just that decision and verbalizing that decision can be huge. That's one way, is, you know, the kind of cold turkey type way is to just make that decision, bit of a fuck it attitude, and go out there and get it. That's not going to work for everyone. Some people will say that, they will verbalize it, and they'll just think, oh, fuck it, I only said it doesn't matter. Now, one of the other ways that I think is really good is goal setting. Set yourself achievable goals. You know, short, medium, long-term goals. If you've got something to work towards, then you've got something that, you know, is a driving force. You've got that kind of carrot dangling in front of you, pushing you along. Now, in terms of doing this, you want to set things that you're going to be able to achieve. There's no point saying, right, well, I'm not going to eat any sweets anymore. I'm going to eat super healthily. I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to save 50% of my earnings. I'm going to save up for a mortgage on this house. I'm going to redecorate, all of this kind of stuff. You ain't going to do all of that. So start small and go, you know what? Right, okay. This week, all I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that no matter what happens in my day, I come home, I cook a good meal, and I eat it. Yeah, that's your goal for that week. And then you might think, in this month, right, you know, in this month, I'm going to look to work 6 hours overtime. Okay? 6 hours in a whole month ain't a lot at all. Okay? You could probably do that in a week. But set yourself goals that you can achieve first to get yourself used to achieving something, and almost have a small reward in place there, so that by doing the things you don't want to do, you can see the improvement and you can see the reward for that. Otherwise, all you're going to be in a position of is you're doing loads of stuff that you don't actually enjoy, that you don't want to do, you're not seeing anything from it, you're going to be thinking, why am I doing this? So you've got to give yourself something back. But you've got to give yourself something back that still keeps you going to the next goal. Okay? It's like that deposit withdrawal. There's no point depositing, and then withdrawing it all, because now like you're starting from ground zero again. What you want to do is you want to deposit, withdraw maybe 25%. So now you're starting from 75%. You do the same thing, you withdraw another 25%. Okay, so you're continuously growing rather than just, right, now I'm here, okay, I'll bring myself back down. Oh, now I've got to work myself back up, right, I'll bring myself back down. You need to keep improving every single time. And so setting goals can do that. One thing that you could do is every night before you go to bed, write down 3 things you don't want to do the next day. Force yourself to do them. And if you don't do them, restrict yourself from doing anything you do enjoy. Punish yourself. Literally punish yourself. You know, as if you're a child. What happens if when a kid doesn't do his homework? You know, or like what happens at school? I know when I was at school, if I didn't do my homework, you stayed in at lunch and you did your homework at lunch. So I didn't want to do my homework, so I didn't do it. I went into school. I wanted to go out and play football with my friends at lunch, but I was punished. I wasn't allowed to do that because I didn't do the thing that I didn't want to do. Whereas if I just forced myself to do my homework, boom, done my homework, bosh. Not only is that going to improve me because now I'm going to be learning more, probably going to get better grades, and then maybe push on to get, you know, better university, better degree, better job, whatever. Right? Not only is that pushing me on further there, it's also allowing me to then withdraw a little bit. So I've put my deposit in, boom, there's my homework, done. So I've done the thing I don't want to do. Lunchtime, I've taken a little bit out because I haven't learned anything over lunch, haven't improved anything, but I've enjoyed myself with my friends. So I've taken a little bit out. And then obviously the next night I've got to do my homework again or something like that. You know, and that's a really like obtuse and simple way of looking at it. But it's just the way you've got to do things. Now, obviously, you know, can't imagine many people watching this video of a school age that are doing homework, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. So challenge yourself, really challenge yourself, put goals in place, but challenge yourself. Give yourself 3 things every night before you go to bed. Get a little notebook, write down 3 things that you don't want to do the next day or that you didn't want to do that day, and then do them tomorrow. Yeah, because then you've constantly got growth going on, you know, because you're going to, for example, Monday's your first day, okay? So you don't actually do anything on Monday. Monday night, there are 3 things you didn't want to do that day, okay? You didn't want to go and visit your parents. You didn't want to go and visit them that day. You didn't want to go to the gym. And then what else? You didn't want to tidy the kitchen. Okay, so there's 3 things you didn't want to do. So tomorrow you've got to do those 3 things. And while you're doing those 3 things, fantastic. There's probably going to be another 3 things that crop up out of that then you don't want to do. So you tidy the kitchen, you find out there's a leak under your sink. You don't want to fix that. So you don't fix it. Okay? You go to your parents. They say that they haven't seen your brother in a while. So you don't really want to see your brother. So there's another thing. Okay? And you go to the gym, and then you come home and you're feeling really tired. You don't really want to eat healthily. Okay? So there you go. So there's another 3 things already that you've got from the first 3 things. You've already picked another 3. They're in your day. You do them the next day. And then when you do that, you're just going to continuously keep improving, keep finding new things that you don't really want to do that's going to push your life forward, that's going to improve you, that's going to make you the best version of you. That's what it's all about. It's about making you the best version of you. And ironically, doing the things you enjoy doing don't do that. They don't make you the best version of you. Doing the things that you hate doing and that you despise and that you can't think of anything worse than doing, they're the meaningful things in life that make us who we are. And then we can express that person of who we are when we do the things that we want to do. But if we don't do the things that we dislike doing, that we really can't stand, we've got nothing to express. We've got nothing to show for our life. We've got nothing to express when we go and do the things we do want to do. And if that's all you do, you just become a waster. You just become a complete, lifeless, wasted person. What have you achieved? You got one shot at this. You got one shot at life, really. In my belief system, you got one shot at life. Once you're done, right? And you're going to spend that life just on a merry-go-round of maybe doing, of just doing stuff that you find enjoyable, but doesn't give you any real meaning, doesn't give you any real gratification, doesn't improve you in any way. It's just, oh great, I get to go out and drink with a few friends. Fantastic. You go out for a drive, you see some matey drive past you in a Lamborghini, you think, oh, I wish I could have that. I'll tell you how he got that. He got that by doing shit he didn't want to do day after day after day after day. And now he's reaping the benefits from it. Yeah? You go out there and you see people on Instagram, they're buying, designer clothes, for example. They're buying designer clothes, they're getting, ridiculous presents for their partners for their birthdays and for Christmas. They're traveling, they're doing this, they're doing that. Why are they doing that? Because every day they do things they don't want to do. They probably get up at 6 o'clock every day, 5 o'clock every day. They don't want to do that, but they force themselves to do it because they've got the responsibility, they've taught themselves the resilience, and they know that it's going to push them forward and it's going to improve them. And that is the message. Do things you don't want to do to improve your life on a day-to-day basis. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos from the channel. Also leave a like rating and a comment, and I'll see you all in the next episode of The Lonely Conversation.